I was thinking I could put my foot up.
Welcome back to Everyday's Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Everyday's Movie Ever. Today I have Audrey! She's back!
Hi guys!
And we are going to talk about Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, aka the Cinderella with Whitney Houston and Brandy!
And Whoopi Goldberg!
And of course, and Whoopi Goldberg. We're wearing merch.
Yes. Do you like it? Do we look good in it? If so.
She's in a PDT and I'm in an EDME.
Yeah.
Get your merch down below.
Please do.
Buy it.
You know you want to.
Buy it.
Please.
Please. Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella is a 1997 television release. It is directed by Robert Iscove. Cinematography is by Ralph D. Bodie. Editing is by Casey Rohrs and Tanya M. Swerling. Music is by Oscar Hammerstein II and Richard Rodgers. And it's written by Robert L. Freedman. Robert Iscove is best known for From Justin to Kelly, She's All That, Romeo and Juliet on Ice, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Ralph D. Bodie, Jess already covered in The Big Green, so the link will be down below.
Casey Rohrs is best known for She's All That, The X-Files, Edison, and This.
Tanya M. Swerling is best known for Fringe, Almost Human, Catch-22, and This.
Oscar Hammerstein II is best known for State Fair, Great Performances, Showboat, and The Sound of Music.
Richard Rodgers is best known for The Talented Mr. Ripley, State Fair, The Sound of Music, and Sphere.
Robert L. Freedman is best known for Life with Judy Garland, Me and My Shadows, Life Stories, Families in Crisis, What Makes a Family, and Honor Thy Mother. The film stars Brandy Norwood, Paolo Montalban, Bernadette Peters, Vianne Cox, Natalie Dessel, Jason Alexander, Whoopi Goldberg, Victor Garber, and Whitney Houston. Brandy Norwood, or Brandy, as she's better known, plays Cinderella and is best known for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, Moesha, Osmosis Jones, and This.
Paolo Montalban plays Prince Christopher, and he's best known for The Great Raid, Mortal Kombat Conquest, Just Right, and This.
Bernadette Peters plays the stepmother, and she's best known for The Jerk, Pennies from Heaven, Anastasia, and Annie.
Vianne Cox plays Calliope, and she's best known for You've Got Mail, Aaron Brockovich, 2 Weeks Notice, and Sex in the City.
Natalie Dessel-Reid plays Minerva and is best known for BAPS, How to Be a Player, Zoe Gone, and This.
Jason Alexander plays Lionel, and Whoopi Goldberg plays Queen Constantina. And Jess already covered them both in previous videos, and the link will be down below.
Victor Garber plays King Maximilian. He's best known for Argo, Alias, Titanic, and Legally Blonde.
Whitney Houston plays the fairy godmother, and she's best known for The Bodyguard, The Preacher's Wife, Waiting to Exhale, and This.
Y'all have to know that this is not the original Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. The first one was in 1957 with Queen Julie Andrews. The second one in 1965 with Queen Leslie Ann Warren. And then this one in 1997, which is fantastic. Craig Zadan and Neil Mayron, I don't know, decided they had a big interest in remaking this Cinderella from the 1965 one that aired on like TV every single year until like 77 or something. And after the TV production of Gypsy went really well, CBS told them to brainstorm what the next project would be.
Whitney Houston and her team reached out after Gypsy because they wanted to see if there was anything similar that they could do. And they presented Cinderella with Whitney in the starring role.
CBS wanted to do it and they wanted it to premiere in 94 or 95, but it just constantly kept getting delayed. And then Whitney Houston's career just skyrocketed, and she got married and she had kids, and she thought she grew out of the role of Cinderella.
In the late 90s, Eisner approached Zadan and Myron to see if they had any ideas because he wanted to revamp the wonderful world of Disney. So they immediately thought of this, and Eisner said, let's go for it.
Once it was back on track and had solid ground, they approached Whitney Houston and suggested she play the fairy godmother role instead. And Houston actually jumped at that chance because it was less of a commitment, but still was something she felt she could really do. She suggested Brandy as Cinderella and actually was the one to call and offer her the role. Cinderella was Brandy's favorite fairy tale, and she was very excited to do it. Whitney and Brandy are the first women of color to portray these characters on screen, although there was a modern retelling in the 1978 film called Cindy, and that was an all-black cast.
Whitney Houston said it was time to have a black Cinderella, and she also said that it was a joint decision with her and the producers to have a multicultural cast, and she also said, quote, "Every generation deserves their own Cinderella."
One Disney executive wanted to have Cinderella be white, and literally everyone shot him down, saying it was time for a black Cinderella. The Rodgers and Hammerstein company, obviously Oscar and Richard have long passed by this time, but the people in charge of their intellectual property were thrilled about the multicultural cast, which is really exciting.
Whitney Houston was a huge influence in the making of this film. She was an executive producer and had the final say on all the creative decisions, especially the cast.
She took so long to approve the script that they got a bunch of Broadway actors together to do a table read of it for her, and she was hours late to the table read, which made many people really frustrated. At the table read, she remained silent throughout, and then at the end she approved the script and sent flowers to everyone that was there because she was late.
Freedman and the producers were definitely wanting to have Cinderella be more than just somebody falling in love.
Friedman gave her more of a backbone, let her speak up more, made her more of a girl for 90s girls to watch. He was very inspired by hearing his wife talk about the lack of representation in women, and then the representation of women they did have was poor. So he was really inspired. He wanted something daughters could see that would be great, and he said, and I quote, "It's not the most feminist movie you'll ever see, but compared to others, it is."
A lot of white actors who were auditioning for the stepmother role felt really uneasy about treating a black stepdaughter cruelly.
Whoopi Goldberg took the part of Queen Constantina because she remembered from her childhood TV specials being such a big deal. Victor Garber thought having a black wife and an Asian son was absolutely extraordinary and didn't understand why it wasn't the norm.
Wayne Brady, Mark Anthony, and Taye Diggs all auditioned to be Prince Christopher, but Paolo was the last one and ended up getting the part.
Producers wanted to update the sound of the musical, so they brought it to Ted Capon, the Rodgers and Hammerstein organization's president, and he challenged them to give really good reasons about why they wanted to update it and what new material they would add, and they decided to take 3 songs from other Rodgers and Hammerstein work and put it in the musical, and those were considered the biggest changes. Otherwise, it's pretty faithful to their original musical. Brandy was so nervous during her recording sessions because she felt that her voice hadn't matured all the way yet, so she had some nerves about getting it to sound good. And Whitney Houston was there during all her recordings, giving her tips and pointers and encouraging her.
Like a true fairy godmother.
So true.
The film was shot at Sony Pictures Studios in June of 1997, and it was on the stages 22 and 26, and the slippers were made of acrylic.
The film had a $12 million budget, which was unheard of for TV specials and movies at the time. It was the most expensive TV movie at the time, where, like, now every Game of Thrones episode took $10 million to make. So, yeah. Things are different. It got nominated for 7 Emmys. It won 1 for Outstanding Art Direction in a Variety or Musical Special. Yes. And it received pretty wide praise. People loved it.
This film launched successful TV movie musicals, including Pinocchio, which was actually being worked on at the same time.
It obviously has huge cultural significance. It broke new ground, quote, which is amazing, but also way too late. It's 1997.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been new ground, but obviously huge cultural significance.
Disney thought about making a Sleeping Beauty TV musical based in Spain, but unfortunately it never happened.
Keke Palmer became Cinderella on Broadway in 2014, becoming the first black woman to portray Cinderella on Broadway, which was a huge deal. We love Keke Palmer. She's great. Yeah. Cinderella is based on a fairy tale. I already covered it in the Cinderella video. Go watch it. We're not doing that again.
We don't have time. I mean, we
but
have
also
time,
I already did it.
But, yeah.
So, like, why?
So, I really liked the intro. I really think that it sort of set the mood that this is going to be a musical. I just liked how the crowd scene, like, it was organized chaos, and it worked really well. I also like how they introduced Cinderella and the prince. I like how they met beforehand in the village, because that gave them more of a concrete relationship by the end of the night. But yeah.
I also really like the overture at the very beginning. I love original overtures because it teases every theme you're gonna hear throughout the film, which I really enjoy. I like hearing, like, oh, listen for that theme, listen for that theme.
Yeah.
And I really love that. I just like I agree that the beginning organized tracking shots and chaos is always fun when you get to follow people instead of constantly cutting.
Oh yeah, for sure. The costumes were really well done. Like, I wish...
All of the art direction. No wonder it won.
Yeah.
All of the art.
I wish... And I know, like, $12 million was a lot, but I mean, it's not like a movie budget. So I understand that there might have been,
Depending on the movie.
True. But, like, the certain qualities of the film definitely shined more than others. Yeah. And one of the big things that I just wish was better was the set itself.
I thought the sets were fun.
I mean, yeah, they're
very
fun.
stylized.
Right, yeah. But I mean, like, for me it was kind of distracting to have, like, fake trees, just, like, a backdrop of trees when they're walking into Cinderella's house. It just sort of took me out of the moment. But I did really enjoy the costumes. I thought they were really well done. I like how the stepsisters really stood out with their costumes.
At the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's in blue and purple and they're standing there in green. Yeah.
Yeah, so I liked that a lot. And also, the stepmother's dress going to the ball was gorgeous.
Fabulous. The most fabulous dress.
Yeah, it really complimented
Bernadette
her.
Peters.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, complimented her red hair too.
Yes, purple and red are always a good combo.
Also, male characters wearing pink.
Yes, I have that note.
Yeah.
Male characters wearing very, like, feminine colors. We know we do not subscribe to gender stereotypes in this house.
Right.
But the king was in pink or purple. Like, he was never... And he was in blue during the ball, but that was the whole color scheme of the ball, so...
Right, and even Lionel, too.
Lionel was in pink. I know the prince wore purple, but otherwise he was in blue.
Yeah.
That's his color.
And they still looked super royal. That...
Oh, well, royalty... Purple is normal for royalty.
Right.
But the pink for the king, I was very like, hey, I'm happy to see it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. The 90s eyebrows and the lip liner, like, if they're going for a setting, time period, they failed. Because the lip liner and the thin eyebrows definitely gives away that it is not old times.
Yeah. But I did like Brandy's, or Cinderella's, style of dress. Even to, like, the way she was when she was, like, the servant, like, with her headband was really cool. Like, she still, like, she looked gorgeous. I mean, everything.
Brandy's stunning.
True. This is true.
She's stunning.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. But I like how her ball gown kind of matched her wedding dress. It's like definitely a good mix.
Her wedding dress was great.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you know how to treat a woman like a princess, I suppose?
Ooh,
like a person?
I know. Okay, like...
Cinderella came out with the lessons.
Yes. I wrote this down, that, like, there were so many messages in this film. And, like, of course, like, there's messages in the other previous Cinderella versions. And I'm not trying to, like, knock down in the past, because they each have their own place, and I enjoy each of them for their own reasons. But this one just stood out to me. It always has. And I remember watching this one more than any other versions, and I just think it's a really good message, even to hear as a grown adult woman. I really enjoyed listening to it as a kid, and I feel like it's just such a great, wholesome movie, and really teaches important lessons, like treat somebody like, a person.
Any gender as a person.
Right.
Any race is equal.
Yeah.
It can be. Why can't a white and a black person have an Asian person? Why not?
Right.
Why not? You don't know their story.
For me, just looking at the movie as a whole, like, I felt so much more connection between the actors than I have in really any other film. I really feel like the king and the queen had this beautiful, realistic,
non-toxic,
right, and
parent relationship.
They were so supportive of the prince too. I mean, the queen was a little,
she
pushy,
really
but
wanted them to get married, but
right,
yeah.
and I get that, and she provided some comic relief.
But she would listen.
Yeah, they like were like, okay, well, if that's the girl you want to spend the rest of your life with, like, we'll give you a hug and you go find her, And I really like that, and like it's really refreshing to see that, because I know in like the animated Cinderella that Disney did, like,
parents be dead, and then it's his dad is alone and is desperate for grandchildren.
Right, and that's the only reason why, he wants to put on a ball is to have grandbabies. But it's like, okay, like, but don't you care about your son?
Why does Jason have an accent?
Why is Jason even in this film? I said it.
That's a trick question. Why did the fat sister have to eat? And be
okay,
called
should
sturdy
we talk
and
about
stocky?
that? Okay.
Also, she's not that fat. So, like, why is she the fat sister?
It made me so mad because I'm like, watching this film, this is the first time I've seen it at this stage in my life. It's been a good decade.
I think I maybe saw
this
this movie once when I was young.
Oh, really? Yeah. But anyway, it was going so well, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, yes, Black Cinderella, yes, Asian prince. It was breaking all the stereotypes.
Yes, diverse ensemble cast.
And then Minerva had to steal a lollipop.
And they keep
from
calling
the
her
shop.
sturdy.
Right. And they're tightening her corset, not the other chicks who I
Calliope.
can't... Calliope. Like...
There's a parent death. The
Yeah.
CG is television CG in 1997. It has a little bit of cringe. There is a little bit of cringe. The cheek-to-cheek moment I'm not crazy about.
Yeah, she could
His line right before they start singing during the dance was a little, like, I forgot everybody was here.
Right, like...
Just the way it was delivered, like,
the
it's
writing...
not great.
Like, the songs
are
were
great.
incredible.
Obviously, Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Right. But the writing...
Part of it was a little gross. However, I will say, the kiss immediately after the cheek-to-cheek moment, bravo.
So good.
So good. Slow and so beautiful.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I really liked how she actually left the ball. You know, I liked that it wasn't like the pumpkin was crashing on her or, riding off. It was an interesting, it was an interesting way to turn it, because I feel like it brought her back to her reality.
Immediately.
Right. Like, as opposed to like, oh, I'm in the woods and there's a smashed pumpkin on the ground. Like, I'm back in the town, where I was a day before, singing and carrying hat boxes. Like, it really brought, like, okay, the evening's done, you had your glorious moment with the prince, and you're back,
Yep. The fade split screen, a classic 90s move.
100%. They're like, da, 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 da.
I do remember seeing this movie when I was really, really young, but watching it, I didn't remember any of it. But I know the music a little bit, like a girl like her. I remember that song, and the In My Own Little Corner. Yeah, I know that song. But otherwise, I didn't remember most of it. Right. So it was like a first time experience for me. And I do think it's important. I think it's an incredible staple for young women of color.
Yeah. I mean, anybody, really,
people
everybody.
of color, young people of color, any people need to watch this and realize.
Yeah. Just don't pay attention to Jason Alexander, though. He's trash.
Yo, his dance scene, though? I'm like, how can he... I had no idea he could move like that.
The prince is a great guy, and then he apologizes. I do want to see
The prince is a great guy. We haven't talked enough about him.
Yeah, no.
We love emotionally available men.
Yes.
We love men who are willing to be like, yo, I'm so sorry about my parents, and, like...
He immediately was like, oh, snap, something's wrong with my girl.
Like,
I'm gonna...
If my parents offended you, I'm sorry, they suck.
Right.
She was like, no, they're wonderful. And he's like,
Yeah. Okay, good.
good, because I love them.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he was
And his relationship with them, and just, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like how he, like, listened to Cinderella. You know, she would express her ideas, and he would be like, oh, yeah, I can get behind that. I
love
dig
it.
that. Yeah. Even though the writing wasn't the best, I really feel like the songs, and I know it's Rodgers and Hammerstein, like, duh. But the music and, like, the lyrics, too, like, I know you talk about it a lot on your channel, like, the music has to push the story along. Otherwise, it's pointless to have a song. And I really feel like maybe a little bit like The Princess Having a Ball might have gone on too long. But I think, like, all the Cinderella songs, all the Prince Christopher's songs, like, all the songs had their place and really carried on the story. So
Yeah. I agree with that. Also, you have it down, but I don't think we mentioned it. The prince's voice is stunning.
Yeah.
Well, all the voices are stunning.
But
Except maybe Jason Alexander. But
I forgot about the prince's voice. And, like,
so good. And their voices mesh well together.
They
Randy's
do.
and his.
Just like this.
What would you rate it?
Ooh. What should it be out of? Acrylic slippers.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Own little corners.
Aw. That's cute. I like that. Pumpkin top carriages. Yes. Okay, cool. I would give it 6 pumpkin. I almost said carrot top. But 6 pumpkin top carriages.
I'm also giving it a final rating of 6 pumpkin top carriages out of 10. Our total movie count is. Our parent death toll is. Crack count is still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. You can follow Audrey on Twitter. Yes, she got a Twitter.
Yes,
you
so
can follow Audrey on Twitter.
Yeah, please do. It's all about marketing and manufacturing and just fun, positive space. So come follow me, come chat. That'd be awesome. It's right there.
It is right there. That's true. Yep. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. Always a great time over there. And buy the merch. I can confidently say buy the merch. The merch
Please do.
is super funsies. So buy the merch.
It is.
Until next time, come subscribe on Strive you are so you do, and don't be the stepmother about it.
Yeah.
Classic.
Even though she wasn't too bad.
I mean, she was still pretty awful.
Right.
The sisters weren't too bad.
Yeah.
Are you the one I've been looking for all of my life?